All right, hey guys, it's Jay, JWilliamsProductions.com, coming at you on a Friday. I wanted to do a live stream kind of thing, but I can't quite figure out how to do that, so I'll just record it live and then upload it, which is almost as much fun. All right, so you can see my clock up here. This is going to take about a half an hour. What we're doing today, we're going to make a dark, eerie drone instrumental cue. Okay, so there's different flavors of these cues. This is a particular flavor that we're going to make that's based on these particular reference tracks that I've got posted on the screen here. So the first thing you want to do is listen to the reference tracks. If you've never done this before, guys, I'm giving you the breakdown from start to finish how to do this. Listen to the reference tracks. Okay, I've already done that, and I've also written a bunch of these cues, so I kind of know what I want this to sound like. But if you haven't done this before, go listen to the reference tracks and then come back. Okay, welcome back. All right. So then what you want to do is you want to read the listing and pull out, make sure you understand what's going on, and then pull out the certain keywords. Read the listing. Let's say understand the listing, or we'll just say read the listing carefully. Create keywords. Write down your keywords. Okay, let's get through those steps. So here's the listing. Dark and eerie drone instrumental cues are needed by a very active, and you know what, I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit, and we're going to highlight some keywords as I go through this. As we read the listing, we can create the keywords. So we have dark and eerie drone. Don't really need to highlight instrumentals. We know it's a cue. That actually tells me something. Are needed by a very active British music library that's looking in taxi to find a lot of music to create their increased client demand. Please submit DRONEY instrumental cues in the general stylistic ballpark of the following references: Vice, True Detective, Under the Midnight Sun. Please submit dark, eerie instrumental cues that could support creepy or ominous scenes. Your submissions should have a consistent droning quality and very little to no melodic movement. Be sure to stick to a singular vibe and sound throughout the entirety of the cue to keep your piece emotionally cohesive from beginning to end. Very sparse percussion can also be added, but remember, less is more. Simplicity and mood are the keys to this pitch. Remember, they don't need horror-based pieces so much as something that delivers an unsettling, that's a good keyword. Dark, I think we've already done that, but let's underline it again, and moody feeling. Your submissions should be about 90 seconds in length, give or take. Non-faded endings with a natural decay or ring out will work best. Don't copy the reference material in any way, shape, or form. Use it only as a general guide for tempo, tone, and overall vibe. Broadcast quality is needed. Okay, so we're right here. We're going to create the keywords and write down the keywords. Are basically the same step. So here are our keywords, guys. This part should be pretty easy. But it's important. Don't skip this step. This is very important. Very important. Do not skip. Do not skip. All right, so here's our keywords. Actually, let me get that smiley face out of there. That might confuse us as we're composing. Or no, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't skip. All right, so here's our keywords. Dark, eerie, drone, droney. What else did we have? Dark, eerie, we've got that. Creepy. There you go. Creepy. Ominous. Ominous and creepy. Droning. unsettling. We've already got dark. We don't need to say dark again. Unsettling. And moody. Okay. Keywords are super important, but also while we're at it, these are just kind of technical notes. We want to be coming at about 90 seconds. And we want a natural decay or ring out. This is super important, guys. Sometimes, let me put a little asterisk here. Super important. Get the time right. And also the ending. Do they want a ring out or a button? So a button ending would be the reverse of a ring out. Okay? Natural decay or ring out is what they want. All right, so that's what we've got going on. And actually, let's just go ahead and break all of that out into a separate file so we can concentrate on that. So we are writing down our keywords. Write down the keywords. Write them down. And this part, we don't need to keep highlighted. This part either. And let me do something like center that and make it nice and big because I'm old. My eyes are old. I want to be nice to my eyes. Be nice to your eyes while you're being nice to your ears. Be nice to your body. You know what I mean? Especially now. All right. So where are we? Listen to the reference track. We read the listing. Create the keywords. Write down the keywords. Very important. Do not skip that step. We're not skipping that step. I'm actually skipping kind of because I copy pasted. But either way, now that we've got the keywords, let's go to work. Okay. So we know we're going to make an instrumental piece about 90 seconds in length with a natural decay or ring out. It's got a dark, eerie, droney, moody, ominous, unsettling, and or creepy feel. I've got my software open up here with a very simple template because I'm going to use, as I've showed in other videos, I'm going to use a total of 3 different sounds and some effects to make this happen. Alright, so one of the keys to this, guys, is your beats per minute should be low. It's a little trick here. And I'll write that over here. Set your project's BPM low. I'll say like 50 or below. And what time is it? I got 4:31, so we'll go ahead and use that. Type in value. So we're going 31 beats per minute. All right. Then you basically, it's not too soon even before you've laid out your first note. You kind of need to know how much space on your mixing board this is going to take up. Because remember, we only need 90 seconds. And ideally, we want to come in right at 90 seconds, if at all possible. Right around here. So say we'll go for 13. That'll be like 1.5 minutes and some small change. We're going to measure it out something like that. Okay. So let's how would we explain that in my cheat sheet? Did I lose my cheat sheet? Sorry guys, I'm not that great at managing all these multiple windows. Here it is. You can go away. We've seen it already. Set your project's BPM low. Define your track length at 1.5 minutes, plus or minus a little bit is okay. All right. This is live, guys. You're watching this happen. Now, I don't have the greatest video recording software, so once I get these sounds going, I'll probably stop talking and just kind of put my mic closer to the speakers, so you can hear what's happening. Here over here, I've already got from my last project. These are volume automations. We don't need. We'll play with that later. Let's get some sounds going here. So 1, 2, 3. I've got a channel rack here, and the first channel is my Fruity DX10. This is how I like to start. Fruity DX10, guys, it's just a very simple, basic, old school synthesizer. Okay, we don't need anything from over here yet. I'll come back over here. All right, so we've got our Fruity up, and let's bring up the piano roll and lower that note and lengthen that note. So we're right here, we're at C5. I know I'm going to need a note that's at least that long. Start it out with something like that. We're going with 13, right? So we might need a couple of notes. But we'll start with the 1. Drag it down. There you go. Drag it down a couple of octaves until it starts to get a little bit of any one of these feelings that we're going for, right? Dark, eerie, moody. Those are the kind of sounds that we're shooting for, right? So what's going to happen next, guys? I'm going to switch over here, and I'm going to start playing with my synth. Just a little bit of sound design. So I'm going to stop talking, and you can kind of watch and listen. Hopefully you guys can hear that. That's starting to get good already. Starting to get there. Here we go. All right, so that's not quite the sound that I want, but we're getting there. I'm going to see if I can tinker with this just a little bit more and see if I can make it more drony. Dronier. Dronier, that's a word, right? Dronier? I want to make it dronier. More drony. Drony, there you go. More drony. Tinker with it just a little bit more to get the right sound. Because I'm only going to use 3 sounds, guys, so it's kind of important that at least one of those sounds is nice and drony. You know what? Let's hide this whole thing. It's in my way. Thank you. There we go. That's way easier. At least I can kind of keep tabs on that. All right, so where are we? We're making sound, making a dark drony sound. All right, right now it's sounding a little bit harsher than what I want, but it's we can work with it. We can start with that. All right, so you've defined your track. Now you want to create. Let's say find or create, because some people like to work with samples more. Find or create a DRONEY sound, and you want to put it in a lower register. All right. All right, cool. So we're off to a good start here. So that's our piano roll. Let's go back to the playlist. Where's my playlist? Don't need you, don't need you, I need you. Come back. Okay, so I've got all kinds of room to fill here. I haven't even started to touch that. So let's go back to my piano roll, and we're just going to go ahead and fill this in a little bit. And I'm going to fill it all the way to, no, let's see if I can fill it all the way to 13. So this is just kind of plain. You don't really need to overthink this a whole bunch. You got to fill up some space, lay down some notes, and remember, don't forget. Don't forget. Nope, not this part. Not this one. This one. Don't forget. Dark, eerie, drone, moody, unsettling, creepy. Yeah, we're getting there. See, just like that, we're getting there. I don't know if you can hear that. Once I'm done laying this down, I'll put the mic over closer to the speakers. So you just lay out some notes that sound creepy. It's really not that hard. And I say that, but it's, I haven't done 100 of these yet, but I've done probably 30. Probably somewhere between 30 and 50. And we're going to need to fill up to this marker right here, so let's do maybe one more in this channel. Well, yeah, let's do like 2 more. We'll just kind of keep that going. And on a low note. Something like that. I actually don't like it that goes back high right there. Alright, so let's check this pattern out. I might tinker with it a little bit as it's playing, but this is going to be a third of our track, basically. Yep. So that's a pattern that I know is going to work very well for this cue. A couple things that I did while I had the mic there up against the speaker. I think I may have taken out a couple of notes. I lengthened a couple of notes is mostly what I did there. So I lengthened the notes so we've got that nice sustained drone sound throughout. Okay, so now we've got one of the 3 main sound elements that go into the track, as we've got it laid down. All right, so how would you explain what we just did there? Find and create the DRONEY sound, put it in a lower register. You got to take up the space. I don't know how else to explain it. Add. I mean, how do you explain it? Add creepy composition. I don't know how to explain what just happened. But if watch the video again, you'll get you know what's happening here. You got to lay down the notes. Here, we'll put it in parentheses. Lay down the notes and fill up the space. That's what has to happen in this step right here. Okay? All right. So we've done that. Now, repeat with second element, second sound element, anything. Second sound can be just about anything from your library. Again, we're going overall for a dark, eerie, drone, moody, ominous, unsettling, creepy track. That's what we're going for here. So we need to find the second pattern, and you can hear my poor old iMac is starting to whir. I better open this door so I get some airflow. Hang on, guys. I'll let you listen to the drone while I do that. Oops. There's no drone because there's nothing in the second pattern yet. Listen to the first pattern. All right. So second sound, we want something that's going to be creepy. You can take an effect. You can take a drop. Take just about anything. I've kind of had fun the last couple times I did this. I've kind of had fun playing around with any one of these vocal samples. That's a good one. Let's try that. Because I'm improvising, so it's as good as any. Watch, you'll see how this goes. So we're going to go to the channel rack. And if I'm using FL Studio 20. And basically just drag that there. And that, oops, we don't want that there. We want that in the second pattern. Okay, so that's already running to an effects chain. Sorry, I've done this before a couple times here. Let's turn all these effects off. We'll get to that. All three of these channels, by the way, on my mixing board, one is not routed to the effects. That's interesting. Why not? Let's do that. 1, 2, and 3 should all be routed to the effects bus. Yep, they are. Okay, so we're improvising. So improvising doesn't sound super spooky, all right? But actually, what we really want to do with these vocals, we really want to do this a slightly different way. So you can actually just drag that right directly into, in this case, you can actually drag it directly onto the mixing board. Make sure you assign it to a channel. And then here I've selected stretch. We can actually just take that and stretch it. If we stretch it all the way out, it's probably not going to sound like what we want it to sound like, but let's just hear what that sounds like when we stretch it all the way out. Let's go here. That's actually not bad. You guys probably can't hear that. Hang on, I'll bring this closer. Wow. All right. Sure. Let's go for that. Why not? I mean, does it fit? Again, if you're not sure what's happening, if you forget where you're doing, look at your keynotes again. Your keywords: dark, eerie, drone, moody, droney, ominous, unsettling, or creepy. I don't know about you guys. That kind of sounded both unsettling and creepy. I bet it's going to mix well with the other sound that we've got laid down. And at this point, I don't even need to check that because we're just going to go right ahead and move on to the third sound, okay? And where's that one? I have 3 of these note cards going, and I lost track of it. There it is. Repeat with second. We'll put that in one step. Second and third, okay? Second, third sound element. And again, what are we doing? We're laying down the notes and filling up the space. We got to fill up this track because we're going to be at 1.5 minutes. All right. And then for the third sound, this one we can go back here to the actual channel rack. The third sound, I have had a bit, again, it can be anything, it really can. I have had some success using percussive sounds like shakers, but let's just poke around. Let's see if there's an orchestral sound. Woodwind? I guess I turned up too loud. No, I don't like that. I don't think that's going to work. Ooh, try that one. I kind of like that. And again, we're going to, ooh, that sounds weird. We're going to play with that in the piano roll, just like we did with the first sound. We're going to go through the same process. Make sure we can find the note. Okay, yep, we're in the right channel. Where is that guy? I can see it. Where is it? Here it is. I have no idea what this is going to sound like. I've never played with this particular sample before, so let's just see what happens. Okay, that if we leave it way up there, that's going to be way too grating. I don't know if this sound is going to work at all, but let's see what happens when we bring it down. Oh, we're getting there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's kind of nice. Sure. Let's try that. And then it doesn't have to sound realistic. Now I'm actually kind of almost treating this like an 808, which is a completely different thing. Has nothing to do with this. But this is kind of how I lay down my 808s too. Huh. How about that? Take a drone cue technique and use it in trap. That'll be my next video. Oh yeah, great. 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 Love it. All right, well, yeah, that's definitely matching the vibe we're going for, right? Dark, eerie, drone. All right, let's try it. So let's go ahead and lay that down. So here's our track. Here's our track, okay? So we have the first one again, is that drone that we made it right up front. No, let's go here. Okay. And then here in the middle we have that stretched vocal sample that we just kind of did on a whim. We were improvising, right? It's cool. It almost sounds like a heartbeat or something like that. And then here down at the bottom, we just took a string. All right. So now we've got all that. And as you can see, the composition is already there. So how do we turn this into an actual cue? Well, a couple of things. One thing that you definitely want to do, and we can do that now, is activate your effects if you haven't already. So let's go ahead and, I'm sorry, I'm like juggling these note cards back and forth, but like I said, this is live. Hey, it's live. We're live. Okay. Live recording. Okay, so now we've done that, and we're going to add effects. Well, let's make sure this is clear. Route all 3 channels to an FX bus. say fun effects. And I'll show you what do I have on my effects bus already. I have, they're probably all just delay effects, right? Yep, reverb, flanger, and a delay bank. So we'll just say add delay effects. Okay, so here's where we are in the process. We're going to activate those delay effects. So the reverb here, this is just putting everything in a room. It really doesn't matter. We're just changing. We'll put it in the venue. For now, the delay bank, we'll go ahead and put this in like a big res because I know that does something freaky. And then the flanger, oh heck, we'll go with an old standby moving distortion. Okay. So again, we've got the three sounds. All three of these channels are routed to the effects bus, which is in turn routed to the master bus. So what does it sound like now that we've added effects to everything? We added effects essentially to everything more or less equally. This will control the degree to which it's going to the bus, okay? All right, right away you can tell we're definitely hitting the vibe that we want. The dark, eerie drone is definitely happening. So I'm just going to play with these sliders for a minute. I'll say adjust the levels. Activate, adjust the levels. There's basically only one more step after this, guys, so we're way more than halfway done. All right, guys, so just to kind of quickly let you know what just happened there. Oh, so one thing I forgot to do, I adjusted my levels and then I forgot to tell the software to keep the levels where I want them. Initiate song with this position, initiate song with this position, initiate song with this position. All right, so basically what I'm doing here, guys, I'm just keeping an eye on my dB meter and making sure that it's not going past 0, right? Because we don't want distortion. We're not trying to create thumping bass here. We're trying to create a dark, droney mood. Okay, so we did that. We adjust the levels, so we have no distortion. Okay, and then what we can do here is we can add some panning. Add panning effects. That's a fun one. And what panning effects do is they kind of create a sense of motion. All right. So how do we do that? There's different ways to do that. The easiest way to do that in FL Studio, I find, is when you're in the piano roll, like we were in, we're going back to Fruity. This is my drone sound. And here at the bottom, we can control note velocity, which I'm not really concerned about right now, but we can also control channel panning. And what I'll do here is I'll just kind of make this bounce around from one channel to the other channel, maybe end up in the center, something like that. Okay, and can I do the same thing for this one? No, because I'm really not using that. That wouldn't help us. I can do it with the string though, and I'll show you another way to. We actually won't worry about doing that for the second layer. So let's figure out where our string is. He's down here. And again, we're just here on the channel panning, and maybe we can do kind of a slightly different motion for this one. Maybe this one likes to hang out on this channel for a little bit, and then he kind of goes over here, bounces around on that side, comes back over to this side, and he's going to end up over there. Let's smooth that off a little bit. He's going to end in the center. Something like that. Okay, so what does our song sound like now? Alright, so we've got this cue well underway now. Video's running a little bit long. Sorry about that, I might have to break this into two parts. I wasn't planning on going into all this detail, but you know what the heck, while I'm doing it, may as well do it. So yeah, basically the next two steps to this, we want to add volume automation. I'll show you that, and then just play with everything until it sounds awesome and keep that mood in mind. And that's how you do this, really. That's really all there is to it. Okay, so volume automation is really the thing that I play with the most to kind of get the overall cue dialed in and the overall mood of the piece sounding like what I want it to sound like. That's really where the magic happens, such as it is once you've got the ingredients assembled. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of play with that a little bit so you guys can hear how that takes shape. And thanks so much for checking it out. All right, so real quick, guys. So basically what's happening here is this center sound is just adding like a little extra something to the track. So I'm not going to worry about the levels at all for that one. So I'm really just going to play with the volume levels between the drone sound and the string sound and see if I can get this dialed in a little bit. Yep, yep. All right, guys, there's our cue. Take it from the top one more time. Make sure we've got something that we're supposed to have. Dark, eerie, drone, moody, ominous, unsettling, creepy. Yes. 90 seconds in length, give or take a little, and a natural decay or ring out. I think we've got all of that stuff. So, how did we do that? Here's how we did it. Listen to the reference track, read the listing carefully, create the keywords, write down your keywords, very important, do not skip. Set your project BPM low, below 50. Define your track length at around 1.5 minutes. Find or create a DRONEY sound, put it in the lower register. Add a creepy composition, basically lay down the notes and fill up the space. Repeat with 2 more sound elements. Route all 3 channels to an FX bus. Activate some fun delay effects. Adjust the levels so there's no distortion when everything's at its peak. Add panning effects to create a sense of motion. Add volume automation. This is the stuff that you really play with. And then tweak everything until it sounds awesome. Alright, let's see, how did we do on our 1.5 minutes with the ring out? Yep, nailed it. Nailed it. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.